Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Camilo Aguilar, and I don't have any presentation yet, or I will not have in the future. But I just wanted to share my experience that I got at the beginning of this year, um, prototyping and creating an application for someone who requested with a low budget and didn't know where to start, for example. Um, So one of the stuff, for example, now that there are a lot of backend language, it is .NET, C Sharp frameworks, and there are also new frameworks for the front end, like Angular. If you want to build like an iOS application, you can go with Swift or Objective-C, or also you can do PhoneGap, for example, or Xamarin. So there's a lot of stuff to move forward, for example, but it's very difficult, for example, to decide in what to. So when we were talking at the beginning of this project, I t- uh, this guy wanted to have like a web application and also the iOS version with some other features. Um, so he already know about Parse.com. Parse.com is a backend framework that provides you several services as a backend. For example, there are three main services: the core, the push, and now the analytics. Um, just talking a little bit about it, um, the core, it permits you persist data. You can schedule, for example, tasks with background jobs. And also you can scale, for example, you can have webhooks, and you can have also those events, for example, before saving or before updating or before deleting, for example, um, any of the objects that you're trying to persist. So we decided to go with Parse since actually we didn't care or we didn't want to, for example, to decide at this moment what backend language to decide, since we didn't know exactly if this product will succeed in this case. And we just wanted to create as fast as possible a an application with a web and an iOS version so we can put it in the market and test it at least at the beginning with our friends. So we decided at first that Parse is going to be like our main backend, and then we wanted to decide, for example, what to do with the front end of the web and what to do for the iOS version. One option was PhoneGap, and the second option was doing it native using whatever Objective-C or Swift, for example. One of the cool stuff about Parse is actually that there's a complete list of SDKs, for example, for mostly devices. Actually, this year, for example, they attach it, so there is already an SDK for Arduino, so that's very good. And so we decided to go with Angular as a front end for our version, and we decided to go with Swift for the iOS version. So we did native. So actually, I did native. So the other thing that I was very concerned about is actually one of the stuff that Dante was telling us in the morning about GOP and that kind of stuff, unification, and that's so I decided to start doing a little bit test, and I found that Geomon has a Angular generator with a lot of great tools. For example, you can minify it. Uh, it helps you rename the images so you can avoid stuff and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that Geomon provides us, and that Angular generator helps you create, for example, roads in Angular very fast because with one command you can actually create the road, the controller, the service, or the completed stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that you can actually create, for example, and there's a list of the stuff that you can actually create: decorators, factories, values, services, filters, a lot of stuff that Angular provides. So it also has already an integration with Grunt for building the distribution for production, for example, and also a grunt test if you want to run their test using Jasmine in this case. So honestly, I put development of my time in this project around 60 hours. I started at the beginning of January. So during the weekends, during the nights, putting 1 hour, 2 hours. Um, at the end, we created this product. Um, we haven't started marketing yet. We're just trying it to share with our friends. The application is very simple. It's just a way to upload your photos from your iPhone or from your or iPad or whatever, and they're only going to access it from your website, in this case, from the website. So right now, the web applications and the iOS version are ready to use. For example, we are just running a like pre-alpha version right now and just getting feedback from our friends. So I didn't have to care about what backend language that I have to use. Just choose the SDK of the client that I need through. So the development was very straightforward, and also the hosting for the web application came from Parse. It's actually the service that they provide. Um, my experience so far is that building products, for example, using this backend service is really helpful if you have like trying to don't want to concern about backend infrastructure, servers, and that kind of stuff. For example, at the beginning. But I think in a certain point of the life of the project, you will actually will have to migrate that backend to your own infrastructure, for example. But if you have an idea, for example, that you want to have to prototype and you want to target multiple devices, yeah, Android, iOS, or example, and you already know Angular, probably that's just the way to go. Build the idea, share it with your friends, and then see the results, for example. I think that's all. Um, I don't like fungi. Yep. So there is a Dante is asking what options of the I have for Parse. Um, you have iOS, you have Windows Phone, you have Android, you have Unity, you have Xamarin, you have React also. You have the REST API, you have OS script, PHP, you have .NET, and also the ones that embedded, like embedded C and Arduino now. So this company was acquired by Facebook probably 2 years ago. So far, this is actually a good backend product. And the only thing or the main, as I say, is that you're attached to their service, for example. So whenever you want to switch, for example, the backend, you will probably start building your own and deciding, for example, what languages you want to go for. But they're very, very, very complete on one basis. So far, this project is using the free version. And if you want to go, for example, customize it, I think the first one goes for $100 a month or something like that. And you can scale, for example. So whenever you decide to scale, just go with it. But at least for a free version, for example, I don't care about paying the hosting. I only actually We only buy the name, $10, and that's all. Yep. Questions? Okay.